What's up, y'all? Today's video is going to be a bit different as I'm going to be showing you what I've been working on the past 8 months. I didn't really take many horizontal videos at first, so here's the original listing photos when we first made the purchase. As you can see, they had some local artists come by and add some beautiful art on the walls, which may have risen the property value some. This house definitely needed all the help it could get, with all the different styles of flooring and the nice plush carpet upstairs. I'm not really sure what those mirrors were for, but I'm sure you can let your imagination figure that out. The ceilings also had some great airflow to the outside, which was a plus. I did get a few vertical shots of the house, so here's a quick walkthrough the day we closed on the property. At first glance, it honestly didn't look that bad, but all of this drywall was falling apart, as well as water damage from a leaky roof, so it all had to come down. The first two rooms are the living room that flows into the formal dining room. Then the following room is what we turned into an office space, which also flowed into the master bedroom, which then flowed into the laundry room space, which then flowed into the kitchen, and finally back into the front of the house. Yes, I know, a lot of flowing is involved in this house, but this house definitely needed some more defined spaces and not just one big maze. Overall, this house had a solid foundation for us to bring back to life. As we were starting the demo, we first had to take down all of the old siding outside, which we soon found out came off a lot easier than it probably should have. With one good tug, pretty much an entire wall just fell right off. I personally appreciated the craftsmanship out of the installation, which made this stage of the demo a lot faster, but this wouldn't have been safe at all if a kid decided to test their strength. Once most of the siding was off, here's what the house looked like underneath. It had all the original siding on the house, which was a pretty solid foundation for us to work with. A few areas needed some repair or replacement, but overall there was minimal rot, which was great. Unfortunately, all of the windows were either already cracked or were barely hanging on by a couple nails, so we just went ahead and took down all of the windows of this house. As all the windows were coming down, obviously they didn't have much weatherproofing to them, and none of the rough openings fit modern sized windows, so I had to demo all of the window openings a bit more to give myself some room to reframe each window to fit a modern sized window. The kitchen was also a pretty fast demo, as there was just a couple cabinets in there to remove along with some drywall. But the rest of the house, yeah, a lot of nasty drywall to come down, which took way longer than it should have, and even under all the drywall was some old wallpaper that turned to dust right when we touched it. And here's a quick walkthrough after we got most of the drywall removed off the walls. We had no idea that under all this drywall and layers of random materials, that the entire house was covered in the original shiplap walls. We really wanted to try and keep them, but there's just too much damage to them and had a ton of missing sections in them, so we decided to leave them and cover them up with brand new beadboard and shiplap to try and keep the charm of the house. At this step, we had already gotten some of the ceilings finished up with some new LED lighting and started planning out the kitchen cabinets. This part was really fun as it started to seem like we were getting this layout down and was able to see how this was going to turn out. You probably can't tell, but there were thousands upon thousands of screws and random nails that had to be removed from the walls, as well as squirrels' nests in the most random spots, so that probably took us the longest, was just to get the walls in somewhat smooth shape as well as all this junk out. Also, the bathroom was starting to take shape as we got the tile down and the framing where the new tub will go, but unfortunately I didn't get many videos of us doing these actual projects, but I'll for sure do that on the next house. And here's what the master bedroom looks like as we have reframed all the new windows and closed off that door opening into the office space. And here's a quick walkthrough of the outside after I got all the rough openings done for the new windows. Making these rough openings took me a lot longer than I thought, but overall I'm glad I did it because these new windows will help with the curb appeal and keep the house better insulated. And here's a quick shot of the dining room after some of the walls were finished up, and look, we even got some cabinets installed. We got all of our cabinets from buywholesalecabinets.com. They're all solid wood cabinets and relatively easy to build ourselves, so for the price these worked out perfectly. Even the laundry room was starting to take place. We ended up taking some of the laundry room space and turning it into a walk-in closet for the master bedroom, which was greatly needed. Oh, and here's us getting the flooring delivered after the company smashed my window in. All is good now, but man, that was a long day. As all the walls were put up, the house started to feel a lot more bright and welcoming and soon started to feel like a house again. I know I missed a whole lot of projects that we did in this house, but here's the house about 99% finished up. We still need to put up the apron and do some landscaping, but overall, this house has had some major transformation. We put up 3 new decks outside, which added a lot of curb appeal, as well as some nice places to hang out and relax. The color we went with outside was an equestrian green by Behr, with a white trim and a black roof. I wasn't too sure about this green at first, but after it dried, it actually turned out really nice. Another great thing about this house is that your view won't ever change, as there is a cool railroad track right across the street. We also added a brand new fence around the entire property, which is one of my favorite additions to the house. It really gave the house a lot of privacy as well as a defined yard space, making it look a lot bigger. We didn't do anything to the sheds out back, as we will probably take down the larger one and revamp the smaller one in the corner. With the size of the yard, there's plenty of room for a big garage, a fire pit, or anything else really to make entertaining out here very easy. Well, now that you've seen the whole exterior of the house, let's get inside where most of all the magic happened. Right when you walk in, you'll see a brand new custom fireplace and a new faux beam opening into the dining room. We decided to open up this wall to make it a little bit more of an open concept in this area. Near the fireplace, there was 2 windows around the original fireplace that we had closed up to put some custom lighted shelving and a unique looking fireplace that had used some old barn wood for the step and the mantle. Now walking into the dining room, we put up a wainscot with a beadboard on top. We also used shiplap for all of the ceilings and beadboard on most of the walls, but wanted this room to have a ton of charm, so we painted it a pretty bold color and also turned one of the original doors into a sliding barn door that goes into the office space. The office ended up having a ton of natural light with all of these windows, and we wanted to bring in some of the outside color theme inside, so we painted it a similar green on the walls and ceiling. Most of the lighting in this house now has an old school brass and gold look to keep it all really cohesive, as well as keep the feel of the house as it was built back in the 1940s. Now exiting the dining room into the center hallway, which we added some really nice wallpaper to the ceilings as well as a few extra light fixtures to brighten up the area. This spot turned out to be one of my favorite spots in the house. And now we're on to the master bedroom. It doesn't look like it, but this room has a really decent size to it, but it only had one little closet, and for any normal couple, that really wouldn't work out for anyone, so over here, we decided to take some space out of the laundry room and turn it into a huge walk-in closet. Before, it was just a weird walkway into the kitchen, but now it has a ton more functional and defined space. And right outside the bedroom is the bathroom, which turned out to be much better than I expected. It's got a brand new soaker tub, a ton of storage behind the tub, and just a really nice color theme to it that went great with the tile that we chose. And now to the left of the bathroom is the brand new kitchen. For this kitchen, we went with some old bowling alley lanes from Waco, Texas, and I turned them into some super rugged countertops. I wasn't too sure how'd they turn out, but now I'll probably use these for all of my fixer-uppers in the future. This room got all new cabinets, walls, a brand new island, backsplash, a freshened up pantry space, a farmhouse sink, and even a built-in coffee bar. Before, they used to keep a fridge in this little small nook, but since we made a new space for the fridge, this spot turned out to be a perfect spot for a new coffee bar. Overall, this new kitchen layout worked out perfectly, and it still has a ton of walk space even with this huge island added to it. Right off of the kitchen is the back door along with an updated laundry room. But before we head in there, check out my awesome plumbing skills. Sure, I'm not a licensed plumber, but you can't tell me this plumbing ain't pretty. Plus, it doesn't leak, so that's a plus too. Now back into the laundry room. We wanted to make sure that there was plenty of storage in this house, so we made sure to add a ton of cabinet space in here to both be used as a pantry as well as storage for small appliances or even some laundry essentials. I also put the custom bowling alley countertops in here just to keep the same theme flowing into this space. And now it's time to head upstairs, but first you gotta see what we started out with once the drywall was all removed. As you can see, it was a huge mess with holes in the floor, junk everywhere, but at this stage, we were really able to add some new ductwork up here, which was very needed as the squirrels made it into their home. But as new insulation and drywall started to be put up, the space up here started to look a lot more defined, and now that it's all finished up, it created two brand new bedrooms with a ton of usable space. We put in new stair treads and brand new carpet throughout the upstairs as it wasn't the most level floor. And now there's a nice little hallway that leads into both bedrooms, which now feel like their own space. Since there wasn't really any attic space in this house, the ductwork had to be built into the larger room upstairs, which I turned into some benches and a large desk area for kids to play on, or could just be used for storage. Overall, we ended up putting in about $100,000 into this renovation, which took a ton of work, but in the end it turned out better than we even expected, and now we're on to the next one, so stay tuned for a lot more fixer-upper videos. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video, as I will be uploading a lot more fun beginner DIY videos. Thanks again for watching, take care!